add the sticky wax to the rims to help hold the wax on. Then I have a piece of my base plate wax left over from the last project, and I already cut a piece that fits there. But I'm going to heat the undersurface and heat my sticky wax up a little bit and adapt it into that area. Now it's a little bit harder than it was when I first started working with it, so I can't work it down the sides as easily as I could the other material. It was working down the sides really, really well. And I'm going to heat my number 31 spatula, and I'm just going to work this material down this flange. I'm going to make it more the width of the tooth in front of it and in back of it. So I'm trying to work the wax rim to be about the width of the tooth in front of it and back of it. And be sure to work it where the excess wax is dripping off your case and not running down all over your cast. It makes for more work. So when you heat it up, let the excess wax drip off until you get it about the same width as the tooth in front of it and in back of it, the same contour. Then work on the lingual to do the same. I'm going to melt some of it and bring it down the lingual. I want it to come down the lingual somewhat so that when the patient occludes on it, it has some buccal lingual support. Otherwise, that rim can come sliding off when they provide some occlusion in that area. You don't want to have someone blow on it like this when you're working on it in front of the patient. It will gross them out and they might leave. So don't do that. You can take an air jet, a little air syringe, and lightly blow air on it. If you blow it too hard, that wax is going to go everywhere. It's going to go flying. So let that set to where you can change the orientation of your cast and it won't continue to run. Let's do another piece. I had this piece left over again from my project. I'm going to go ahead and use that. And I'm going to put it in here and cut a piece. First of all, I want to round it a little bit because I want it to mimic the arch form. And then I'm going to cut it off. And I'll see what I have. Trying to cut it to fit that area a bit. Now I want it a little bit too labial at first so that I have something to be able to take off. And I'm going to heat up my sticky wax. And I'm going to heat up the underside of my rim and merge the two so that it doesn't fall off on me. Now we said we'd like it to kind of taper 12 to 15 degrees. On the lingual aspect, I would like this wax. First of all, I have a lot of excess right here I'm going to get rid of. But I'm going to actually use that right there and melt it into that spot. So I'm going to melt this wax in here because I want the wax to be filled up in that lingual area to be confluent with the palate and about as wide as those canines. So I'm going to have some excess wax as I do that. Make this one thinner, skinnier, but I'll use that wax to come on down to become confluent with my palate. First of all, I'm going to take off some of this sticky wax ran when I heated it up with the Bunsen burner, so I'm going to get it off my triad and off my cast. I don't really want that showing through particularly. And I know the problems with retention of the wax to triad. Alright, with it sitting like this, I'm going to use my spatula again and heat some of this wax and fill in this area right in here. Should be about 4 to 6 millimeters in width. And I'm going to try and get this contour to mimic my incisors here, or my canines, to kind of become confluent with them. So I'm getting that ledge gone so that when I look down that line, it will look like my centrals are becoming more in line with the canine. My arch form is taking shape. Now, I don't like this sticky wax showing through here, so I'm going to get rid of it. And then I'm going to fill it back in. The patient kind of interprets that as something being dirty, and they feel like you're putting something dirty in their mouth. Let that set. I'm going to try and adjust the arch form just a little bit on the lingual because it's kind of flat on the lingual. And I'm just going to bring that around a little bit. Heat it up to be nice and soft and shiny. I need to get, this is a lot taller than the rest of my teeth, so I need to heat my hot plate up, heating up that hot plate, and I want to lean it like this so that the hot plate drips off rather than dripping on the cast. And I'm going to place it like so. My rim is a little bit too tall in the back too. My other rim is becoming the same height as the teeth. Get it down to the level of the other teeth, which it is now. Plus it has a real nice defined arch form. Put it on here and you get the same contour as the buckle. And then that's a little big to put in on the lingual, so you can use the number 31 spatula again. One thing I will tend to do is cut that wax so that I have a nice form on the lingual, and then I'll remove the excess wax, and then I'll just lightly fire that. Same way up here, I'm going to go ahead and cut it a little bit, get rid of some of that excess. And lightly fire it. Just paint it with the Hanau torch. Finishing off the edge a little bit. Make it run to the occlusal. Getting a nice high shine. Now I have a lot of excess around these teeth. I have to get this back to that tooth. Take it off with the tooth. I may have problems getting my rim off of this cast. I don't like this occlusal over here. I'm covering the teeth. I don't want to cover the teeth, so I'm going to remove that. The wax butting up against the tooth does afford some stability. We've got about 6 millimeters in the anterior. And then that one final trick that I have, run it under some cold water. Run it under some cold water, and with a wet gauze, rub it onto the surface of the wax, and you will develop a really high shine. You can see how shiny that is. Shine it up this lingual. That's a nice base plate.